Hey guys, it's Saturday. I just got out of bed, out of the shower. I feel so bad. The party yesterday was amazing. There were a lot more people than I actually thought, because during the summer when it is so warm outside, no one really goes to clubs. It went until I think 5 or 6. It was already bright outside.
That's the only thing I hate about the summer. You go out, party, bright outside. Pizza, McDonald's, Chinese.
Pizza,
Okay.
And I had maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or even more gin tonics. I just need another one. The police was taking care of really drunk people.
So sound and the police.
Then I got a really nice pizza. Yeah, and then just back home around 6, 7 or so. It's 6 in the morning. I almost made it back home. Just 20, 30 more meters. I got my DJ equipment. And I'm all good. And I already knew back then, this morning actually, what will happen today in the vlog. And if there's one thing for sure, it's that we're doing a hangover story time tomorrow. Definitely. Don't worry, it's not beer again, that's just Spezi. It's Coke and actually really good, refreshing, perfect. So in today's hangover story time, I actually wanted to talk about how I got in contact with music, when I started DJing, producing music, and all these kind of things. But since I'm very bad in remembering when those things happened, I will go through my old pictures and try to find those moments or get close to them, because I don't really remember when I started DJing, if it was like with 13, 14, 15, 16, I don't know. Well, I found a very old flyer. It just looks so bad and so wrong, but it's from September 2005. And it still has my DJ Sine name on it, because I started DJing hip-hop and R&B music, and it wasn't Jon Sine, it was just DJ Sine. And that night with that ugly flyer was maybe the 5th or 6th time I was DJing, so that's pretty much where I started. The gigs before that were in a youth club. This gig was for a school. Back in the days, schools did events to finance their prom kind of thing. But actually already before that I was very much into music. I just loved listening to music. I used to download quite a lot illegally and collect albums and put them together and store them all on my computer, label them, choose the covers for them, everything. I really had a nice music collection always. I used to record a lot of music onto tapes, onto mixtapes, and I was very annoyed that I couldn't mix the tracks together. So my mixtapes, one track started and then just the next one. And some other professional mixtapes back then, like German hip-hop mixtapes, they had like seamless transitions because someone recorded them actually. So I informed myself how to do it, and there was one option to do it with the software, but I also found out that you just could buy record players, a mixer, and record whatever you were doing. And I was so fascinated by the record players, by the Technics 1210 MK2. I was fascinated by the red light, that it spins, the mixer, everything seemed so cool to me. And I just loved the idea of having music on a big black record, being able to touch it, to put it onto the record player and just scratch it, do cool transitions and all these kind of things. Because with the software, there was no way to get the scratching sounds. So I saved up quite a lot of money, bought the first record player and the mixer, didn't have the money for the second one. And my first 2 records, I think, One of them was actually Aiken's Locked Up. Let me check how old that track is. It says 2004, so that's where I really started with DJing, practicing at home. And at the end of 2005, I already had this first bigger gig. That place was actually quite big, like 800 to 1,000 people. I was quite excited to play there. And it was a fun night, I think. I mean, it's quite a long time ago, but it was always fun DJing in that club. I used to play there at least like 2 or 3 times a month later on. So all of those nights, I can't really separate them. They were all fun and a lot of crazy things happened, but I don't know what happened on which night. The next 3 pictures are actually from that club. Probably not the first night where I was DJing there, but one of them. And there's actually another one with Gordon together. Same club, just 3 or 4 months later. Back then he already used to DJ house music. I was playing hip hop, so we could both always DJ together because back then people requested to have both kinds of music. In 2006 it was still mainly like hip hop, R&B and just a little bit of house. But over the years that switched. The people requested more and more house. And I think at the very end of this club, it was just house music. Found another picture that's actually from another club that wasn't like a school organized thing. It was a real proper club. It was February 2006, so my very first real club gig. And then I actually came up with the idea why being booked by someone else to play at a night. I wanted to have more influence about the music, the DJs that were playing with me. And also try to make a little bit of money, so I started renting clubs and promoting myself, my own events. The very first one I did in, was it June 2006? I think I just turned 18 a couple of days or months before it. Before I wasn't just able to sign any contract to rent a club, but the second I could, I did. And the event went pretty well. I just drove to all of the schools, left there my promotional material, and on the night itself, like at 9, and the club was only opening at 10:30, there was already a line outside. I was very surprised. I didn't expect that at all. But that success was also followed by a whole lot of other parties and events that I threw, also with Gordon together, and they didn't go so well. But that's a whole nother story. The next bigger steps were just playing in more and more clubs, less for schools. I got older, I got better connected in the city. I then started DJing in one of the biggest clubs in the town. It was called 3001. It was a place where also people like David Guetta played, Steve Angelo, Eric Prydz, I think Avicii was also playing there. So it was a really big club with like 2,000, 2,500 people, and I got to open up for some of these DJs. I actually left out a part before that, because opening for these DJs you can't with hip-hop. So there was actually the moment in between where I switched from playing hip-hop only and a little bit of house music to playing only house music, and also switching from DJ Sine to Jon Sine. It was a club event where I had to take over for someone else that was sick, another DJ friend of mine. He was only playing house music, so I just had to play house music in a club, and it was a club for older people. It's funny that I'm saying older people. They were probably my age right now, but back then, older people. And I only played house music, and it was so much fun because I could play whatever I wanted. I didn't have to play what's on the charts. I just played the electronic music that I personally liked, and the people also really enjoyed it, and that kind of opened my eyes. And the next day, I just switched the DJ Sine to Jon Sine, and actually never played hip-hop again. So this was a quite hard cut, and that's actually how impressive that evening was. It was so much fun. And then like a year later, I got to play in this big club with all of those big DJs, and also started to play outside of the city a little bit. And during that time, I wasn't a producer. I didn't consider myself a music producer. Yes, I tried out Reason for maybe 1 or 2 days just for fun, because as I had always the urge to do my own mixtapes, to select the music that I wanted to select, I also started to feel the urge to just start my very own music. So I slowly got the necessary software and started playing around with it. But I just started really seriously producing after I switched to playing house music, because I didn't really see me producing hip-hop. That wasn't really my thing. And also up until then, I wasn't really musically trained. I couldn't play the keys, no guitar, nothing. And I was maybe 18, 19, I guess. 18 was the club event, 19. Yeah, it was probably more like 19, 20. And then I started to go more and more into producing music without having any knowledge about it. So a pretty cold start. I had to teach myself everything about mixing, mastering, how to use the program first, of course, everything about music theory. I tried to learn to play the keys, which kind of works. I can play at least enough to produce my music. Same with the guitar. It's not perfect. I couldn't play live on stage, never ever, but it's enough to record it and correct it in the software. And that's pretty much already it, from recording my own mixtapes over DJing to producing. I kind of ended up here doing the videos, making music every day, doing this full time. I think if I've told myself back then that this will happen one day, I would have never believed it, because that was actually my dream back then. The only thing that is missing a little bit right now is playing a bit more DJ gigs. But that's something I will take care of in the next couple of months. The thing is, it got way harder to get DJ gigs, because everyone is now just filling up a USB stick or taking their laptop to the club. Back then you had to have at least 300-400 records to play a night. So here in the city there were maybe 10-20 DJs. Everyone knew each other and you were helping out each other, and all those 20 knew all of the club owners and the promoters. Now here just in the city you have thousands of DJs, hobby DJs that think DJing is so cool that they even play for free. And this way the DJs that do it for a living have a way harder time, because some of the club owners, they just want to save money. That's kind of it. That's the story. And very short, there were a lot more things going on, a lot of fun things, but that's maybe something for the next Hangover story time. If you have any questions, just let me know, and don't forget to participate in the competition. You can still win a free copy of Nectar 2. I think it's a plugin that's usually like around €200 or $200. And I think so far just like 50-60 people participated, so you still have 2 more days to be part of it and try to win it. And I'm now just going back to bed and curing my hangover.
Pizza, pigeons, pizza. That's my pizza. That's Gordon. That's me, 5 in the morning with my pizza. And I think that's pretty much it.